Hello, I am Wanderer001 and this is my review of the Skybell Trim Plus. It is a video doorbell. Now, a lot of this is going to be like app-based, what you can do with it. This is just kind of quick exterior walkthrough because one, it's already up, and two, the majority of it is software-based. So just talking about what we're looking at here. You are looking at a 4.8-inch tall with a 1.4-inch width that has a depth of 1.13. Now, this is the key reason I went with this bell, this video doorbell, over others, is I needed it to fit in a very tight location, and a lot of other doorbells just couldn't quite do it. I also like the fact that there are no service fees for using this. Once you buy it and put it up, you don't have to pay for any other services. You have cloud storage and things of that nature, which I'll talk about a little later. It does come in several colors. This is an LED light up here, and this is your button activation, which is also an LED light. These colors can change, and this is your motion sensor. Now, I will say, I, for the most part, keep the LEDs off, mainly because, well, my house faces down the street, so leaving the LEDs on kind of lets people know it's like, hey, there's something there. So I keep those off. I probably will turn them on for like holidays and stuff like that, but that's another story. So this is a wired doorbell. You will need a wired connection in order to use it. So the question is, how easy is that to set up? Well, here, let me show you how easy it is to set up. Unboxing. This is the Honeywell version, not the one from the website. So there is a difference in packaging, quality, and just basic presentation. So it's a little loose, but that's because I took this out. So you get the actual doorbell itself. Big difference that I saw was another person who got it directly from Honeywell, from Skybell. Theirs was made in the USA. This one from Honeywell is made in Mexico. So that's one thing. Other thing that is severely lacking is packaging and directions. So from Honeywell, pretty much tells you, here are the indicators, but to install, it says, go look it up online. So this is really all you get for the install. You also get a packaging with the backing, screws, and then the screw to hold this to the mounting plate. So that's what you get in the box. All right, so step one is to remove the old doorbell. So after you get your doorbell off, you disconnect the old leads. They are low voltage, so you shouldn't need to turn your power off, but you should always double check just to be sure. If you don't feel safe, you can always just turn your power off. Next, you take your leads and then work them through the middle of the mounting plate that you got with your Skybell. And again, they're low voltage, so it doesn't hurt anything, but just keep them from touching or else the doorbell will continue to go off. Once you have the leads through, you're going to screw your mounting plate, after which we will then connect these down here so that we actually have a connection. After you get your leads tightened down, you want to make sure that they're in this little channel here on either side. Doesn't matter which one is which, you can just get them established however you like. Just kind of tuck as best you can the wires back there. For these guys here, I did have to use a smaller Phillips head screwdriver, so you're not going to be able to use one for all of these, as well as the lockdown for the actual doorbell underneath here is going to be a smaller Phillips head as well. So what you do next is you just take your Skybell here and you mount it up. But of course, I have to take this down a little bit before we can do that. So line it up, and you give it a little push, and there. You wait roughly 10 minutes, and that says it's charging. We're just gonna screw the lock in underneath, and then we'll be good to go for the next portion. Now, talking about this mounting screw, you're not going to screw it in all the way. It's secure. If you try and screw it in too much, I hear the plastic kind of straining a little bit, so you want to tighten it just enough that you can tug on it and it's not going to come off. And there you go, it stopped blinking, so it's good for setup. Not terrible at all, right? Now the other thing is, with this particular video doorbell, it is extraordinarily rugged and weatherproof. If you compare this to other video doorbells that are out there, one, it doesn't really look like a video doorbell. Yeah, I know when you get up close, you can kind of see that there's a camera there, but for the most part, it looks like a regular doorbell. But this doorbell can actually withstand temperatures of -40 up to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. And I do have some sample footage of it being rained on quite a bit. So that is the video doorbell, how it looks, the installation. Everything else is software based, which makes this a really good video doorbell. So let's talk about the setup of the doorbell. Once it starts flashing red and green and you've downloaded the app and it's indicating flashing red and green, you select next. And then to begin Wi-Fi network sync, there's some stuff we have to do. All right, to begin sync process, launch wireless and network settings. Once in wireless network settings, you go into airplane mode, which is kind of hard to see there with the glare, but if you have a shortcut key, you can do that. And then once you are in airplane mode, you press the back button from your Android phone to return to the Skybell app, or in this case, we're just going to hit this little green button at the bottom there. To continue syncing, we go back into Wi-Fi settings, and then we're going to look for the Skybell. I don't know why it put us into airplane mode for that, unless it wants us to stay in Wi-Fi mode, or airplane mode. So we got to turn that on.
That's much better.
Going to start looking, so we're going to select that one, and it's going to go back. And then once we select it, press the back button on your Android phone to return. So we're just going to swipe that away. We're going to go next. All right, so now we have to select which network we want this on.
Right there.
All right, fine. We're going to select this one here. Next. We have to put in the password. All right, so we did that. Go next. And now we take it out of airplane mode. And should be syncing up. Because I hope it is, because that's kind of scary to watch. All right, blue and green should be getting better. Now we're steady green. All things are good. Thumbs up. And now it's going to actually take us right in here. And there you go. Beautiful. So setup, not terrible. Kind of hard to see. First time I'm trying to have somebody else help me film stuff. Not as easy as I thought it would be. But if I wasn't filming, it would have taken a lot less time to do that. Small, easy installation, fairly simple setup. So the next question is, how does this all look? How does it work? That's what we're going to go check out with the app. All right, so here we are in the application itself. We're going to talk about those features that separate Skybell from some of its competitors. So first being, you get 1080p at 5 times digital zoom. Now, this is a plus and a minus because for the most part, depending on your Wi-Fi signal and location, you may not be able to use the 1080. I have it set for the 720. I'll show you where that is a little later. It doesn't look terrible. Now, if you have a strong Wi-Fi signal, you can use the 1080, which will be great. It has a motion sensor, so I pointed it out on the camera itself. That motion sensor, from my experience with it, is hit or miss. It will get people coming in and out of my house. It'll get people that push the button. But further out, like by this car, or even walking up my walkway or my neighbor's walkway there, it does not trigger, and I don't know why. I did do some reading where it might be a issue with my chime box or my transistor that converts the high power from my fuse box to low power for this. It worked. I didn't notice it, but now I kind of wonder. So I may in the future actually change those out. And if it does change, I will come back and update this with another video. But right now, motion sensing, not the best with this. Live monitoring is kind of cool. You would press that play button and that will bring you into the live monitoring mode. Now, I will say one thing. When you go to live monitor, what happens is the light underneath and on top, as I pointed out earlier, will actually turn on white, letting people know that you are actively looking through it. So for me, all those people down the block would know if I'm actively looking through my video doorbell, even if I have the LEDs turned off, which I currently do. Free recording, that's also great. You get free cloud storage of things that you actively record, or motion, manual, and doorbell presses. You get to hold on to those for a week, so that's pretty cool. You can have multiple users on a single account or multiple devices on a single account. It has hear and speak, so they on the outside can hear me speaking and I on the inside can hear them speaking, like this. All right, testing two-way audio, just cutting my wife out of there because this is how she agreed to help me. This is a test of the Skybell Trim. This is a test of the Skybell Trim.
Hello, how are you doing?
Hello, how are you doing?
Next is activity history. Again, that is on here. I will show you where that is, so it'll have all of the activity that it's saved. Colored night vision. Now, colored night vision to me is a plus and a minus. And again, I will roll in some sample footage. The colored night vision has its limitations. I have active night vision with my Wise cams, and in some instances I like that a little better, especially when you see the light that's always on because it's a street light, kind of makes it more difficult to see people walking past until they get up really close, or my stoop light triggers. You have quiet mode, talk about that a little later. And last, that I'll discuss before going through things, theft guarantee. So if somebody takes your Skybell, it will be replaced. So, main page here shows you the date and time, configuration, play button. So we are going to start with pressing play. That will actively bring up my outside. Given a second. On occasion, I do get this stream could not be established, but going back and refreshing, generally brings that up. Now, part of that is right now I'm dealing with some fairly annoying internet issues, but this is a live stream to my house. You have take a snapshot, you have push and talk, that will let you hear the person, and then you have this hang up. You also have digital zoom. Now, again, you can flip this and get a larger view. You can tap and the buttons go away. That talk is always there. I kind of wish that it could go away, but you've got a nice wide fisheye view, which in my case shows me my driveway, my neighbor's driveway, and then the neighbor driveway. So I can pretty much get a wide view of everything that's going on, which is really nice. Now, what I will say, if you do not press the hang up button, and even if you swipe this closed, the doorbell will remain sending information through your network. So just be aware of that. If you don't hang up, you're still going to be using data. Coming across the top, you have all of your notifications. I had to scroll down to get to some that actually didn't have me, but these are also clips that would show you kind of like the night vision that I was talking about. So pressing on it will open up that video and then you could watch it. Now we're going to go back. If you wanted to download or save something, you would swipe to the left and then you can delete, share, or download. You also have this option up here, which will allow you to filter for specific things. If you had multiple cameras, motion events, button presses, or on demand. Those on demands are if you actively look through the video doorbell by pressing that play button. Now, it does take a new snapshot every time you look through it, so this changes as the day goes on. Next, over here is profile, and in there you have sign out, my devices, add a new skill because you can add new skills. It is compatible with Nest for now, probably not anymore, IFTTT, and Gibbo. Never heard of that, but it works. You've got your FAQ, support, and legal. That's all. that you get from there. Now, I will say during the setup process, what I did really appreciate, on just about every screen, there was a little icon that was, hey, do you need help? Push this button and you could talk to somebody live. Now, I did not, but you could if you run into problems during your setup. Back to the front door here, we're gonna press on the options menu, and that's gonna bring us to device name. I have it as front door. Notifications. So you can be notified if you get a button press or a motion detection, and there's that icon I was talking about for help. Information, last check-in firmware, serial number, model number, status, connective quality, signal strength, bit rate. It shows you networking and some other stuff down there. We're not going to do that. LED. So the LED status light is just that. It is the LED on top and on the button. You can select what color you want it to be. This is the color. You just kind of drag it around and it will change. So if we come over here and I select red, the camera outside will be red. If we come back here and select green, camera outside will change to green. I will say that the green color in particular is a little tricky to see in the daylight, which is why we kind of stuck with this teal color. My wife likes that, so that's what we went with. You can select different levels of brightness. Now, some of those are easier to see at whatever levels. Again, I keep the LED off only because I don't want people seeing down my block that I have something on my front door that they should maybe be wondering about. Indoor chime on and off. This is really nice. So this is that quiet mode. Let's say you don't want your chime box to go off because your wife is sleeping and you don't want her to kill you, but you're expecting that next review package from Amazon. If you come in here and turn the chime off, the outdoor will still ring and the phone will ring, but not the actual physical chime box. Great thing to save your marriage. Outdoor chime is just that. If they push the button, you can allow them to hear a chime as well. So you could set the volume for that, low, medium, and high. Good stuff. Motion detection. Again, I have it on, I have it for high. It's not doing what it should be doing. I'll change out probably the chime box and the other component to see if that helps and update later. Image quality, right here. I have it set for 720 better, and that gets me a perfectly acceptable video quality. In fact, why don't we look at some video quality? None of that, I will mention, is in 1080p. All in 720 better. Speaker volume, so again, the exterior so they can hear you is your speaker volume. And in this case, I just have it set for medium, which has functioned perfectly well. Integration, don't have any. Sharing, don't have any, but you could manage if you did. So my overall thoughts on the video doorbell, I'm not gonna lie, it was one of the major things that I wanted to get. Like, I had a wish list set for when I bought a house that this is what I want to get when I get a house. Even before I got the garage door opener, a review over there, I got this. I just didn't install it right away. There are pluses and minuses with the Skybell here. Plus right now is no monthly fee and price overall. You can actually pick it up anywhere between $170. Now keep in mind that other doorbells could be in that price range, but they also have that monthly subscription. For me, the color night vision isn't the best, as well as the motion tracking. Not working for me, but not a deal breaker. I want to at least be able to poke my head in and see what's going on. So if I get an Amazon package and I can see it sitting right there, at least I can keep tabs on it throughout the day. Or if somebody pushes my button, which again generally is when they drop off an Amazon package, I at least get notified that it was delivered. Being able to turn off the internal chime is a big thing for me, and as far as I know, last time I checked, Skybell is the only one that can do that. So if that's something that you'd like and need, I would suggest checking this out. Again, depending on where you get this, and this is something I found out, there are different brandings of Skybell. You have the Honeywell version, which is what I ended up getting off of Amazon, or there is the Skybell directly from Skybell, which will be a little more expensive. Both seem to be the same, except like where it was made and some of the tools you get in box with it. Take that with a grain of salt, and depending on where you get this. Again, if you need something like I did, which needs to fit in that very thin area, then for me, Skybell was the way to go, and it could be for you. So I have been Wanderer 001. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the area below. And as always, thanks for watching.